Guys, what is going on? This is Tim Odell with OdellCompleteConcrete, and this is part 2 of what is going to be I believe it's going to be about a 4-part series, maybe a 5-part series if you guys include the video on what I'm going to be making, since you guys did reach 1,000 likes on the first part. So I am going to be making a video on how much I profited on this job and how much it costed. And then again, guys, if we do reach that 2,000 like mark, I will do a video on breaking pretty much the whole project down of how I went about bidding each item out in this job, from the putting green, from the sidewalk, DG, cell shades, all that. So we reached 2,000 likes, I will do a video about all the detail. I mean, even if we hit the 2,000 likes on this video, I'll still make the video for you guys. And what we're going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be showing you guys pretty much the whole setup of the artificial turf, installation, setting up the forms, bringing in the base, and it's actually going to be a putting green with a fringe on the outside. So that's going to be the artificial turf, but the main idea of this video is pretty much setting up a putting green. We actually have a little pathway at the beginning area walking into this artificial turf, and we pretty much got our levels, guys, by just going off the back end of this patio and transferring over to that planter bed form right there that we have, pretty much dividing the planter bed from the putting green. And then we transfer that level with the 2x4 over to the back end, and then making sure that we're level across from our sidewalk to the other side. As you can see, we have the Milwaukee level on that 2x4 in the background. And then from there, guys, we're just digging out dirt, and I'm also taking out this sprinkler right here. I'm actually just digging it down and then capping it off, because well, not capping it, I'm just extending it to the back, because it goes to that back retaining wall in the back there where there's planters back there. So I just wanted to take the sprinkler head out of this area. So once we dug down about 3 to 4 inches all around this whole putting green area where we're going to be placing it, we are bringing in a 1/8 concrete recycled base mix. And what I love about this base is once you level it out and get to exactly how you want the putting green and fringe to look, once you water it down, it gets really nice and hard, exactly how you like, whatever shape you'd want it in. So that's what I love about this base. It really stays to its form, and it's honestly like the perfect artificial putting green base you can use. We're just using a 4-foot rake to grade out the whole area. We're pretty much just making everything level all across this artificial turf area, but we are going to be placing a small hill in the back of this artificial turf, or this putting green. So it's going to be like a 2-tier putting green, so it gives it a little more depth when you're playing on it, not so just a boring straight shot type of putting green. And then you see we just watered it, guys, and then we're compacting it, really making this really well compacted and put into place, so that we get no movement of where we want this exactly sitting at. And then I believe this is actually the next day, guys. Once we came back, we talked to the homeowners exactly how they want their putting green layout set up, and we are doing about 12 inches off of the concrete and the forms all the way around the putting green, so it gives it a nice fringe on the outside with enough playing room in the middle for the putting green to sit on. And we use that upside down paint. And then here's just a little closer view. I don't know if you can see the hill, guys, but it's right there in the back area, so it gives it a little nice rise with the putting green. And we're going to be placing a hole right on the top of that slight sloped hill. Now here is Edgar. We brought in Edgar because I am actually not here today, and I am on another pour with my dad right now. I'm pouring out another job, filming that one, while Sam was on this job filming this one, and Edgar was here helping him out, getting in all the artificial turf. Plus, it's always nice when I can bring Edgar along on some of the artificial turf or putting green jobs that I get. So he's gonna be helping us out on this little project. And then you can see we brought that tamp out, guys, because it's always very difficult to get as close as to the edge as possible with the compactor without damaging the forms or the concrete, in fact. So we like to tamp the edges as much as we can. And then what we're doing right now, guys, is we're laying down a very fine 20 grit sand to really even out the whole surface of this putting green, making sure that the terrain is very smooth and there's no rocks or bumps anywhere in this putting green area, because we want to make sure that when you're putting on this putting green, there's the ball goes exactly where you hit it and it doesn't curve or hit any bumps in the putting green. So it's very crucial to really get this putting green as level as possible, just like a pool table. When you hit that ball, you expect it to go exactly the way you aimed, and that's what we're trying to accomplish here. And then once we did lay down the sand, guys, to give it that extra flat surface, we are now just compacting it with this nice little water rolling compactor. You can see you actually fill this thing up with water to give that extra compaction, and you pretty much just let the water do the compacting and movement for you. You just guide it. So a neat little tool, and it doesn't push down the sand as bad as a compactor would, and that's where these actually come in like real handy. So once you got the surface as flat as possible, or as close as possible you can get it, next you want to do is you want to bring your putting green in first. You do your fringe, the artificial turf on the outside, last. So once you get your putting green to the exact dimensions and cuts that you want, which we know what we want, which is 12 inches in from the outside forms and concrete, that's what we're going to be marking our putting green at. And we're also going to be placing staples in right now because we don't want the putting green to be moving while we're trying to get everything in place. You always want to order extra too, guys, when you're measuring. You always want the putting green to go past what you want, because if you can avoid seams, avoid the seams, guys, especially on putting greens. And the way we're going to be able to cut this putting green really nice and perfect is we're going to be using chalk. We're going to chalk the whole outside, and that will be our guide for when we start to cut. So here's the chalk that we're using. And like I said earlier, guys, we're doing 12 inches in from the outside forms and concrete. Right at the end of the putting green is exactly 12 inches in. And you can see Edgar's feeling for the concrete, so he knows exactly where to mark at. And then he's only moving maybe about 6 inches from each spot so he can get a really nice curve with the concrete and follow the pretty much the dimensions of the concrete. In some areas we didn't go exactly 12 because we wanted a little more putting green, but for the most part this whole putting green was done about 12 inches in from the forms. You can see, guys, he actually the first cut he made on the putting green was not exactly to where he wanted to cut. He wanted to cut a little extra off, so when he made his final cut, he would be exactly on where he wants the cut to be. Just so he could see a little bit better, since the putting green did overlap the sidewalk and the forms. And he's actually cutting the putting green from the green side, since he has the chalk all marked up. Alright, guys, now that he has everything cut, he's just cleaning off the excess sand that might have got on the putting green and around the work area. Just cleaning up the site. Clean as you go. Always makes everything easier at the end. This is how it's kind of looking, guys, once it's all cut up and to your liking. Now, we had a bunch of excess turf that we've saved from previous jobs, so it's kind of going to look like a little Frankenstein piece when we start putting everything together. But at the end, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be gorgeous. But I mean, if you can't save, excess turf from jobs, well, and you're going to have turf jobs in the future, why not? So that's what we did here, guys. We've been saving from jobs that we've done in the past, and we're going to reuse it on this job. And for the fringe, it worked beautifully. Another thing to note, guys, is you see what Edgar is doing right now? He's putting the nail underneath the putting green and on top of the fringe, because we don't want the putting green go under the fringe. It just looks a lot nicer this way, and it'll make it blend just way better. And it also gets rid of that little black piece under the artificial turf, so you can easily hide that. Then once you start putting these staples in, the goal is to pretty much put the staples as least as possible on the putting green side and more on the artificial turf side, because you don't really want any staples on this putting green, and nails in fact, because you want a smooth and flat surface as much as possible for this putting green. So we try to avoid putting any nails or staples into this putting green. Just a lot on the outside edges to really hold everything together. I mean, you can see how close we're putting the staples together, and we're gonna do it just like that all the way around. And just putting in all those nails and staples takes a lot of time, guys, especially when you're really diligent on them and you're really trying not to push down any of those artificial turf blades with those staples or nails. You gotta really take your time on it. And that's what we do on our jobs. We take our time. We do things as best as possible, as perfect as possible. And then here's a little close-up I wanted to get for you guys when we're putting the seams as close as possible together. And I'm going to show you how we hid the seams so well on this job. When you're putting the seams together, what you want to do is pretty much you want both of the turfs, the bottom of the turfs, which is the little black rubber mats on the bottom, pretty much. You want those just kissing at the bottom, like 1/8 or 1/6 to 1/16 apart and you'll get like a really nice seam where you can pretty much blend and hide really nicely together. But this is what I meant by the artificial turf is kind of going to look like a Frankenstein type of deal. That's how diligent we are when installing these putting greens, especially Edgar. We want to make sure that nothing comes apart and that this is a really strong putting green. And that's what I meant by not every spot of this putting green got 12 inches of fringe. That little area got a little more and a little less on the side. And you can see all those little pieces that we pieced together. And I'm telling you guys, after we hit all these staples and nails in, turned out beautiful. Just got to be diligent on them and make sure that you're not hitting any of those blades in once you're nailing them down. So now that all the staples and nails are in, we started going in at it and knocking them all down. This definitely is a timely process. And this was a cool little trick or tool that Edgar actually had. It pretty much just makes the holes for you right after you've done everything. I know some guys put the holes in first, but this I think is the best tool to use because you can get the holes exactly how you'd want them. And when you do put the holes in, you want the holes to be probably like an eighth below, 1/8 below the putting green, so that it doesn't, when you do hit it towards the holes, you don't want it to clink right against the cups or the holes. That's the worst. You want the nice and easy roll in. So that's what's nice about this tool. You can get your holes exactly to where you want them. You don't have to pre-put them in before you do the base and then the putting green. And then these are actually smaller nails that we put around all the putting green holes because this is what's going to be holding these holes in place so that they don't move or shift. And we just tamp the holes in a little. Just to give that extra stability where they're placed. And then the final process of this, guys, is when we break out the power sweeper, power sweep all of the fringe artificial turf blades and the putting green. We've actually put a very fine sand in on the putting green, which we used a number 16. Or I'm sorry, no, we used a number 20 for the putting green and a number 16 for the fringe. And then we just power sweep everything in. And then the final step, guys, is just tucking all the edges in. And then clean up. Spray it down. Make it look good. And that's a little walkway into the putting green. And that's pretty much it, guys. This is how it looks once you're all done. And then here's a very, very final shot of the putting green once pretty much the whole project was done. But I thought it would look nice with all the flag holes in, so I kind of wanted to show you guys that. But stay tuned, guys, for part 3 and 4. We're going to be showing you guys how we installed the cell shades, the DG, we sanded the pressure treated wood, and I think that'll do it. I'm sorry, and also the St. Augustine grass that we put in. So stay tuned for that, guys. More videos are coming. I I appreciate everyone that supports us. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate that. My dad appreciates it. And stay tuned, guys. Have a good one.